The loop blitz meta. It's been the meta all year long. And the reason for that is that you can get 4-man pressure that comes in crossfire style through the A gaps or off the edge in the form of the edge blitz loop. But in today's video, we're going to talk about how players are countering these blitz metas. And I'm going to show you guys a brand new blitz strategy that you have to install in your defense immediately, if not sooner, because everyone knows how to block the crossfire loops. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, get out your notepad, and let's get after it. So these loop blitzes that we are used to seeing here in Madden, we know that these are coming to you out of formations such as the dime 3-2, which we had an entire blitz seminar yesterday, as I mentioned, the 1-4 defense, which is my favorite defense in the game, and other defenses that essentially give you a 3-down lineman, 2 linebacker, 4 corner, and 2 safety look, essentially the old school dollar look. The reason that this blitz style is so effective is that you're able to eat up the offensive line with double teams from your defensive line and loop the linebackers in from space. We'll start off here just calling a regular base offense here out of a Trey Y flex. Now, with the loop meta, as you guys know, this is going to be our choice of whichever linebacker we want to go ahead and blitz. Most players are going to choose to loop the linebacker on the running back side because that makes it a little bit more challenging for the running back to block it. But when the ball is snapped, you end up with this double team in this loop, and it's basically a 4-man pressure with contains. The next down, you might go ahead and mix it up a little bit and run the defense the exact opposite direction, looping the other linebacker with this. And again, you're going to see basically the same type of blitz style. You're getting 4-man pressure, left A gap, right A gap at the same time. And then of course, from there, your opponent might also mix in some edge blitz metas that are in the game. This could be your Mike SS3 seam. This could be your edge blitz 3 or your strong eagle slant 3. It just depends on what formation you're running your base defense out of. But again, with this style of defense, it is very much the same premise. You're going to be sending basically 4 players and you're getting some sort of linebacker crossing around a defensive lineman. So you see right here in this particular look, this is going to bring edge pressure. So we go ahead and snap the ball here. You see this loop pressure that they're attempting to get right there. It got picked up a little bit by the offensive line, but a lot of times this comes in clean. It's also something that sometimes you'll notice they can send it from one side or the other. Pretty common. You don't really know what blitz is coming in. Again, if you guys want to take a look at the blitz seminar from yesterday's video, I would highly recommend you do so because it can be quite good. Now, the Chiefs offensive line is doing a good job with this edge blitz loop, but as you saw, the interior gap loops in this game can be a little bit more problematic. But we've all been in a game before where we have basically set up a crossfire blitz or some sort of internal crossing loop meta, and for whatever reason, our blitzer just dumbs out. Now, I've talked about it here before on the channel, but the reason for that is that your opponent is calling an offensive play that is play action based. So right here, I'm going to call, instead of a play like scat or inside post, I'm going to choose a play that is play action based. And the truth is, you don't even have to, with this play, run the play action. You can just send your running back out on a route. And what you're going to notice with this is that when you set up your loop pressure that was coming in really easily at the beginning of this video, I want you to watch how Bond is basically going to dumb out and not go to the other side. In fact, he's just going to basically run straight into the guard. And then from there, we've got the ability to make our reads, make our hot routes accordingly. And this applies to the other loop as well. So if I wanted to send Burks on this play, all you have to do is call that play action play. You don't even have to carry out the play fake. And then from there, just make your hot routes accordingly. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and run basically slant post. And you're going to see that the loop blitzer just dumps out, runs straight into the guard. And then from there, you're just making your reads accordingly and moving down the field as if you're not even really being pressured, because you're not. You're dumbing out this blitzer. You see right here that with this particular blitz, for whatever reason, the play action fake kind of makes them run into their run defense gap. A lot of players don't realize this, but every player on defense has a pass assignment and a run assignment. So because it's a play action play, this pulls him down into his run gap rather than allowing him to blitz into his blitz lane that's associated with the passing play. So this is why play action plays in general dumb out loop blitzes. But there's one blitz style in this game that is not susceptible to play action blocking, dumbing out your loop pressure. And before I break that down, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the channel, but also make sure you guys check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans has been on the forefront of competitive Madden strategy since we opened in 2020. And I've been doing tips in the competitive space for almost 15 years now, breaking down what pro players do, the meta, or the most effective tactics available. These are the things you see online day in and day out. These are the things that give most players trouble. We're going to break this down to a science in our vault, breaking down what the tips are, how they work, and how to counter them when you face them online. For instance, through this particular YouTube lens, we're talking about a blitz meta, how it's countered by play action blocking, but how you can get around the play action blocking, canceling that blitz, so now your defense is back dictating the pace of the game. Believe it or not, this was a tip in our vault almost a month ago, talking about this blitz meta. So the customers on my website are oftentimes getting these tips well before it ever sees the light of day here on YouTube or on someone else's channel here on YouTube. So make sure you guys go check it out. Gridiron Game Plans is $9.95 a month. That unlocks the entire website, vault updates, all offensive and defensive game plans, members only Discord access, where we have over 2,000 members chatting every single day, helping each other out with college football and Madden. And we have lab sessions in the Discord every Wednesday at no additional charge. You might pay $50, $60, $75, $100 with a pro for 1 hour of their time. I am in the Discord every single week at no additional charge, answering your questions. And a lot of times the stuff that we cover can end up becoming content for the website, because if you're struggling with it, other players are struggling with it, and we have to lab through it, that's a great opportunity to teach moving forward in the vault. So make sure you guys attend those lab sessions. You guys oftentimes be on the cusp of content that's not even on the website yet. All right, enough blabbing. We're going to be talking about how to loop blitz against play action here. So we already know that you can't run crossfire loops. Sometimes the edge loops dumb out, but there is a style of pressure that you guys can get easy B gap on. And this is the trick. B gap loops are not susceptible to dumb out animation. So I'm going to call a formation here, 2-3 Sam. You could call this out of the 1-4, 2-3 Will, or you can makeshift this out of whatever defense you want. Just get the defensive lineman set up correctly. Now with this play, I'm going to shift my defensive line so my defensive tackle goes and covers the guard. We're going to crash our defensive line down, QB contain, and I'm going to blitz this linebacker. Now from this particular position, he's blitzing a little bit too straight for my liking. And that's going to make it a little bit easier for the offensive line to pick it up. Now, don't worry, I've got something here in a second. I'm going to snap the ball here, and you're going to see that the left guard picks that up. That's not ideal. So what we need to do is we need to create our loop. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the exact same thing here, but I'm going to add an additional step in the 2-3 Sam of basically pinching my linebackers. Now you see here in this particular setup, it looks like he's blitzing straight into the A gap. Believe it or not, he's going to end up looping into the left side B gap. Now I'm going to prove that this is actually intended to be a left side B gap by showing you the play art when I call a regular pass play. You see right here that he actually does want to blitz into that gap. For whatever reason, when we call a play action play, it's going to kind of show you that he's blitzing into the A gap, but he's really not going to dumb out. So all we have to do with our user is occupy the center. And you see that this guy blitzes into the B gap as intended and gets straight through on a 4-man B gap loop. It might as well be an A gap. It's very, very quick. Depending on what formation you're in, you probably could sub safeties at linebacker for higher acceleration, speed, agility, things like that. But you see this comes right down the pipe, and it cannot be countered by dumbing out the looper with a play action play. This was a play action play here. This is PA crossers. You see all the players on the left side running crossing routes. This is a very meta trips play action play, just to prove that we are in an attempt to dumb out the loop blitz, but it's not dumbing out. And you see right here that we're getting internal pressure, very similar to the pressure that we would be looking to get out of the crossfire loop, but instead now we're doing it out of the 2-3 Sam or the 2-3 Will, or I could run this out of the 1-4. So let me go ahead and switch up my formation completely here. I'm going to call something else with a play action based play here, so that way you can see that this is universal. So we got this play here, PA cross. I'm going to call 1-4. Now I'm going to show you guys how to set this up out of 1-4. It's again pretty much the same thing. We're going to shift our defensive tackle left, crash down, QB contain, Now, unfortunately, in this formation, when we pinch our linebackers, they do this little like mug look. So we don't really want that. So what we're actually going to do here is we are going to manually move our loop blitzer. So I'm going to shift the line to the left. I'm going to crash down QB contain. I'm going to blitz Burks. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him. And you see right here, now we move it into this spot. It actually changes his destination, similar to what we would experience with a play action base play in our last example. And you're going to see here that even when we freestyle of a play action play, he's going to loop into that B gap. Now, my job with this is to make sure that I occupy the right side of the offensive line. You don't want the center or the guard peeling back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm really getting the attention of the line here to free up that loop blitzer. And then you see right there that we're able to get in sending only 4 against yet another play action based play. This is PA cross out of the bunch strong nasty. We're sending 4. And again, from this perspective, I would obviously be switch sticking. I can switch stick to the flat and then up to the corner. I can switch stick back to either safety. We can make coverage adjustments accordingly with this to be able to play better defense on the back end. So this is how you put the defense back in control of the offensive line when your opponents are nerfing your loop blitz meta. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and check out gridirongameplans.gg for the best deal in the tip space. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zayn. Get the lab and good luck.